Gayle Saunders and Chris Mallee. We are here doing a quick breakdown of Jalen Hurts before we hit this New Orleans Saints versus the Eagles game. It's obviously the first starting game of Jalen Hurts' career with the Eagles. It's obviously a monumental moment for him. It could be the fan base could be a little bit torn with Carson Wentz sitting down and sitting out for this game, but he will be backing up Jalen Hurts. What we're expecting from Jalen Hurts is we know he's a rookie. We know that he's going up against one of the number one defenses in the league. His back is up against the wall. He's got a lot of young guns fighting behind him, and I think they really want to come out and set the tone and not be a shook one. It's tough for rookies out there. It's really tough for rookies out there, especially going up against a top-notch defense. But what I'm looking for him is just to just be consistent. I think playing smart in the pocket and using his legs when he needs to. I think that's what he needs to do, and just really complete the short intermediate passes, keep the ball moving, run the football. I think that will help him. But overall, Chris, how you feeling, man?
I feel good, Gayle. I mean, we're finally going to see something different. It's been more the same all year. It's crazy that Doug Peterson comes out this weekend, finally says that he's going to switch things up. I'm just glad that they're trying to put Jalen Hurts in a position to succeed. They said that they're going to try to establish the run a little bit more. Alshon Jeffrey might not be playing. Jason Peters, great career, but this year has not been helping at all. We saw him struggle again against Green Bay. And we're going to have the young guns in there. Actually, out of the 3 wins and the tie, Herbig has been starting all three and /4 of those games. So it's good to have an established line. We're not going to have Jason Peters hobbling in and out. We're not going to have Lane Johnson hobbling in and out. Both those guys aren't going to be playing. So it is what it is with the line. And we saw some guys step up as Jalen Hurts added the juice. I mean, we know what he brings to the table, Gayle. You and I watched him a lot in college, and we talked about him before the draft, the mobility. I still think Carson Wentz does have that mobility. I just think that Hurts is going to be willing to maybe sacrifice some plays down the field, but get loose. His body and his mind are a lot fresher than Carson Wentz's right now, like mentally and physically. Carson Wentz has been beaten up this year, so it was time for a change, and now we get to see what the young guy can do against this really vaulted defense.
Yeah, I think if we were looking for positives out of Jalen Hurts, this is kind of what you want to see from Jalen Hurts. Coming in off the bench and making a spark. Now we're not asking to make a spark. We're asking him to be consistent, because now he's not coming off the bench, and we're not looking for a spark. We're looking for some consistency in this offensive attack. But this is a big play right off the back from Jalen Hurts last week.
For Hurts. Throws it deep. And it is caught.
People have been looking for Jalen Reagor to be who he is. And now it's Jalen and Jalen connecting and making big plays. I think that's what you want to see from Jalen Hurts in the passing game.
Yeah, it's just Carson, he had opportunities out there this year, and he wasn't hitting open guys. You could just tell that he had happy feet in the pocket. He was walking himself into sacks. Fans and analysts alike can argue, was Doug putting him in the best position to succeed? It's here and there. All we know is that we need to get this kid ready in Jalen Hurts to face a really good defense, and we saw him bring some life. Granted, you heard analysts say, like, maybe they were running a little bit prevent defense when he first came in. It doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts is going to do the same thing. He's going to scramble. He's going to buy some time, and he's going to try to get the ball out quickly. I mean, we saw in the Greg Ward play right here, he really extended the play using his legs, got outside, and really brought some life to this team.
To the end zone, touchdown.
Yeah, that was a nice play, man. I was definitely a little geeked, after that play, because I'm like, hey, man, we might be back in business. And then Jalen Reagor, he also had that punt return. So I think it's inspiring to see that kind of play, like right off the bat from those guys. But it is what it is. Like, he's gonna have to really showcase his talent. He's gonna have to showcase his guts. We've seen the type of player that he is. You know, like some people will look at his situation, and I compare it to like a Carson Wentz. Like he has been in this situation before, as a young player. Getting there's him sitting in the national championship and watching a younger player come in and step in and take his position and lead him to victory. And that's what it is. I mean, that's part of growing as a football player, the ups and downs, the trials and the tribulations, what made him become a stronger player, a better in the pocket, like him as a freshman versus his time at Oklahoma. You saw him develop in the passing game, but you also saw him be successful running the football, almost 1,300 yards rushing last season. Um, his ability to find those running lanes when the passing game breaks down, or man situations to recognize they're running crosses, and he's got an opportunity to sneak out the side. He finds those running lanes, and he's a natural runner in space, and can take the punishment. You don't want to see him get too many hits moving forward, but it is what it is. He can take off and run the ball effectively.
Yeah, you heard Tony Romo say, listen, like, this is just like the juice that the Eagles offense needed. Like, is Carson Wentz the long-term quarterback solution? He said maybe, maybe not. He said, but right now with the offensive line that we have, we're actually going into Sunday with the 12th different alignment of offensive linemen, which is insane. So, and like, he is almost like a disaster artist, Jalen Hurts. Like, he can be mobile enough and creative enough and buy enough time behind this line, whereas Carson Wentz hasn't proven this year that he can. And he just hasn't been able to get out of his own way. We're actually going to look at this film from Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma, and just shows you how great he is at using his legs and setting up defenders.
Get an extra blocker, and then once the ball is snapped, keep in mind this is the 4th and 3. But what you see right here is that that's the one UCLA player who can make a play. He's trying to cover up one of the gaps. But the thing about it is, if you just try to make sure that you're getting to one gap, that will make things very easy for Hurts. And watch how he's able to make a good move, and from that point on, he's off. He's able to get a touchdown just like that.
Yeah, shout out Jackson Kruger Sports on YouTube for these breakdowns. We actually have another clip from him in a little bit, but I mean, the mobility is apparent. I mean, it's something that we really are going to need to use, because we've been struggling in the air and we've been struggling in pass protection. So it's just being able to add that into the game is huge.
Yeah, I think just having that element of surprise, you might say. I think you really have to look at his game in terms of being able to throw the quick screens, the run screen options, because I mean you can add these wrinkles. You look at the way that Carson has had accuracy issues throwing like screens and some of these swing routes. Like his timing has been off with some of those throws. I think this is where, in the short intermediate game, I think this is where Hurts' game is polished, in the sense that that's part of some of the college game. It's a lot of these quick short throws out to quick wide receivers. Hello, Jalen Rager's out there. So I think if they can dial up some trickery, get some misdirection using Miles Sanders in there. Again, we want to see Doug Peterson set him up for success in the Saints game, because we've been asking for it for Wentz. Hopefully he really listens to his internal self and say, hey, I gotta help him out.
Yeah, and just going over the fact that he's going against the Saints that had a huge month in November, starting against the Buccaneers and all these other teams. They went 4 games and literally let up 1 touchdown. So it's no easy task for Jalen there. And we were talking about it earlier. The Big 12, they're not very known for defense. There's some of those games like Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor. They're like 40 to like 50. Some of these games. And then if you really want to see when Jalen struggled, it's one of the first films that you and I broke down after the draft was the LSU game, because that's kind of like an NFL type defense, New Orleans defense. He went 15 for 31, only 48 completion percentage, 217 passing yards, 1 interception, but we still saw him get it done on the ground. 14 attempts for 43 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And here's some film when he had a CD Lamb as his primary read, but looked off.
Wrong first read on this play. He should be looking up to his left. He's instead going to be looking to his right. And, I mean, you look, after the ball is snapped, look at how open Lamb gets. I mean, this concept works out, but the problem is that the quarterback isn't looking in that direction. So, again, you could argue, well, hey, sometimes you're going to look in the right direction, but just doesn't work out. That happens. If there's two routes you're looking at, one has...
I mean, we see there where he kind of has, like, the jumpy feet, and like Carson this year, he kind of, like, just wasn't very decisive, even though CeeDee Lamb is his pure number one. And I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. So let's just hope he gets the ball out quickly on Sunday.
Yeah, the idea of him being late, I've seen, I went back and watched a lot of Oklahoma tape on Jalen Hurts, just see, where he was struggling. Was he late on some routes? Was he able to hit like tight windows consistent? I mean, that was a thing. But what you liked from him was his ability to create plays. He's thrown some really nice passes. He's got passes in there in tight windows, but consistently, that's where you want to in the NFL on the next level. You got to be able to hit some of these tight windows and not be late on some of these reads, because at the end of the day, you get a late read or you're late with the football, it's a pick. And we saw one of those picks during the Green Bay game. But overall, like, I'm expecting from Jalen Hurts. I'm hoping that he protects the football. He's able to consistently move some change, whether it's with his feet, some short intermediate passes. If they run, if Doug Peterson finally sticks to the run, we could see a better offense moving forward, because it's something that at the end of the day, a young offensive line, I'd rather have them try and run block versus pass blocking versus a solid defensive line, defensive front, because they're going to bring the house. Hopefully they have something for the Saints ready, because they're bringing the house, so they're going to be aggressive. But I'm just hoping and praying that Jalen Hurts brings his A game. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, Gayle, we've been rooting for the kid since day one. I think all of Philadelphia was a little confused when the pick initially happened. For better or worse, we're going to stick by the kid, because we know he's a hyper talented, great character guy. We saw his entire story arc in college, and now he lands here, and now he's the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and you can do nothing but root for the kid. Hopefully Doug Peterson puts him in a position to succeed, something that he hasn't really done for Carson Wentz in a lot of fan and analyst opinions. But I think that just hearing Doug Peterson say he's going to try to run the ball and utilize the guys a little bit more, let's see if these guys can step up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just looking at this game from an evaluator standpoint and really seeing how Jalen Hurts comes out with this offense. If there's a different vibe, if they're really feeling themselves after a couple of drives, and they got, the defense is playing well. You never know what can happen if the team is playing together as one. We have not yet seen this offense play consistently all year long, so it's a tough task, but I'm ready to watch. But other than that, I'm ready to go, man. For Chris, Mallee, and myself, Gayle Saunders, that's all for us, and we will see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles, fly.